Hi, welcome back. It really helps to hit the live button. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I am Jackie Baker. I'm a real estate agent here in Bergen County, and this is my weekly live stream. So thank you so much for being here. If you're joining me, you're watching, could you guys do me a favor? Just want to pull up my comments. Could you guys do me a huge favor? Let me know where you're from. Don't worry, I'm not going to pick on you or anything, but can you just drop a comment? Let me know where you're from in the comments. And I'm just curious to see where everybody's from. And yeah, it's just exciting. Just want to see who my audience is. So anyway, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is my third week doing my weekly live streams. I'm having a lot of fun. So let's get to it. So if you saw my Facebook video I posted earlier this morning, gave a little bit of a hint of what I'm going to be talking about tonight. And it was, it's an article that I found, and it talks about what Americans are willing to give up in order to own a home. And they polled the Gen Z population, millennials, and even Gen X. Interesting stuff that I saw on this, and I couldn't believe what people are willing to sacrifice. Anyway. All right, but before we get into that, just a little bit about the market. Let me just share with you what we got going on here. So in the market this week in Bergen County, and this is just for single family homes. Hopefully y'all can see that. Wait a second. Can I share? Are you sharing? Oh my God. Here we go. Wait, hold on. My bad. Here we go. Okay. So this past week, so we're looking at September 21st to the 28th. So this is just single family homes, residential homes. And currently there are 1,374 homes on the market in all of Bergen County. So this past week, only 165 new homes entered the market. That's down. The last week I think it was just over 200 homes entered the market. So it went down a little bit. Inventory is it's shrinking again. So we had 147 homes sold. That went down a little bit. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's still a seller's market, although we have seen some price reductions. And in some cases, there are some homes sitting on the market. Like I've said in the past, I think buyers are kind of getting more savvy and they don't want to overpay. And this is I think this is a result. And this is what we're seeing, that they're not selling as quickly or as much over asking. So if you look over here, so the sale price to list price, 99.8. Okay. So we see sale. So it's 99.8% of the sale price to the list price. Okay. So it's, say if it was listed at whatever, 500,000 and it sold for $495 or $490 or something like that. So what it is, if you go to the last list price, so that shows me there that the last list price was the most recent price that the house was asking. So it was a price reduction. Okay. So once the prices were reduced, they're sold for 100%. They went for asking, or in some cases over asking. So we're seeing a little bit of a price correction. Okay. That's what that's telling me. So let me get out of that. So what else went on this past week? This week, it was kind of a crazy week. I had some stuff going on with a couple of my deals. Look, it's the nature of the business. Real estate's emotional. It's tough. And yeah, so I can't get into details, but at one point I will share with you what one of my clients is going through right now once we're over that and past it. Yeah, I can't wait to share that story with you. So anyway, we had Mawa Day on Saturday. As you may recall, I mentioned that last week. And it was such a great day. And we haven't had Mawa Day since 2019 because of COVID. And I want to say it was probably the biggest turnout we've had in I think in years. It was so amazing. The day was beautiful. Parade was awesome. Love my marching T-Birds. Marching band marched. They did an amazing job as always. And we just had a lot of fun. So my office had a booth, and, we met so many new people. I saw familiar faces, old friends, and we just had a ton of kids come to our table. We had a birdhouse decorating. That was a lot of fun. So it was great. And I want to give a shout out to the Mahwah Experience podcast. They were recording from Mahwah Day, and I wanted to thank them. I want to thank Dave, Scott, and Brett for allowing me to crash your podcast. That was a lot of fun. And if you're like watching from this area in New Jersey, or if you're thinking of moving to Mahwah, check out their podcast. It's really cool. I'm going to put the link in the description box once this video is all done. You really need to check them out. They have, they just talk about all things about Mahwah, like all the happenings in the town, if there's any issues, the events, and they're just a bunch of guys just hanging out, talking, and really great guys. That they're just really good, solid people, and it's just a fun podcast to listen to. And if you listen to the most recent one, I'm in it, so you should definitely listen. But thank you again. Shout out to the Mahwah Experience podcast. If you're thinking of moving to the area, you want a little bit more of a feel of what the town is about, listen to that podcast. It's really cool. All right. So I also had an open house on Sunday, brand new listing. I had a condo go up on the market in Mahwah. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, end unit penthouse. A lot of activity on this one. I had a lot of people come to the open house. I'm anticipating offers to come through. It's priced at $349. Really great, beautiful end unit overlooking the courtyard, skylights. It's a really great place. So if you know anybody that's tired of renting, or even if they want to downsize and want to come check it out, let me know. It's a great place. All right. So, okay, who do we have here? Hi, Jen. Oh my God, Ray. Hi, Ray. Thank you for joining me. You're amazing. Thank you. Who else is here? I see that there's we have 5 people on here. Don't be shy. You can say where you're from. Say hello. Anyway, let's get on to the topic of the evening. So as I said, I found this article, and it was from Realtor Magazine, which is written by, it's provided by the National Association of Realtors. And this article that I found, holy cow. Hold on, bear with me. I'm trying to find the tab. Look, I'm a little slow on this techie stuff. I'm learning though. Here we go. Okay. So this is, the title is What Americans Will Sacrifice to Buy a Home. So this is a poll done by Cinch Home Services. They're a home warranty firm, kind of like American Home Shield. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. So Cinch is a warranty firm, and they did a poll to see what people are willing to sacrifice. So right now, the Gen Z are the youngest adults in the housing market right now, and so we still have the Gen Z. We had the millennials as our buyers that are in the current buyer pool. Oh my God! So they did this whole poll, and they said, 85%. They said they're willing to make sacrifices in order to own a home. So, I'm sorry, the 85% of the respondents who are willing to make sacrifices. You ready for this? They said they're willing to give up alcohol and vacations. Yeah. So I was like, okay, vacations, I get it. I get that, right? I mean, it's an expensive thing. So this is what people are willing to give up for a year. Okay, I get this. I can understand the vacations, but help me out here. Alcohol is ranking right up there with vacation. So are people actually spending that kind of money, like almost as much as a vacation, that they feel they have to sacrifice it in order to save for a house? I mean, I understand if you're going out to a bar and, that's expensive, drinks are expensive. But even if you're drinking at home, oh my God, are you really spending that much money, like equivalent to a vacation? I don't know. That was a little bizarre. But let's look at some of the other stuff that they had. So we had, of course, dining out, buying new clothes. I know that's something I could give up just just in general. I'm not buying a house, but that would help. What was the, we have here eating pizza, eating chocolate. Really? Did they really did spend that much money on chocolate? They have to give that up? I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. And this is my favorite. So if you go down a little bit, we have 20% and 19% of people said they would be willing to give up eating meat, consuming sugar, or eating carbs. Like, how can you equate that to saving money to buy a house? I don't know where the heck this poll came from. I was cracking up at this. I mean, seriously, you're going to be at a restaurant and a waiter comes over and like offers you, would you like bread for the table? No, thank you. I'm saving to buy a house. I can't have any bread. Really? I don't understand that. So who's ever on here right now, and I know Jim, I saw your text come through, what would you guys be willing to sacrifice if you have to save money on a house or to buy a house? What are you willing to sacrifice? I know for me, I think it would definitely, I would have to give up clothes, although it would be kind of hard. I would have to give up, believe it or not, buying too much freaking makeup. I'm obsessed with TikTok. I know my husband's watching this right now and he's like, yeah, you are. But I watch all these beauty influencers and they're always talking about the latest and greatest thing. And what's the best product for like women over 50, and sucker here, I got to go try it out. So that's something I definitely would have to give up. Yeah. Yeah, Jim, thanks for chiming in. You would sacrifice your friends. Am I one of them? You would sacrifice. And that was actually one of the ones, I think they said that. They said, they would sacrifice 22.9%. Would they be willing to sacrifice socializing with friends? I don't know. Jen, you got nothing left to give. Yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. Okay. Ray says you should ask the waiter at the restaurant, what is the current interest rate before ordering? That's a good one. Yeah, I think we'll do that next time. But yeah, there's some really interesting things here. And it's promising to see that the Gen Z and the millennials are looking looking for home ownership. I know there was a long time there where millennials were not, they were starting their lives later in life, starting a family, they were focused on their careers. So now, this is promising to see that we have this younger population that they're motivated, they want to be homeowners, but eating meat and consuming sugar, I just would never even think of giving that up for the sake of buying a house. I just don't understand that. So I had to share this with everybody. I thought it was so funny. So I have a question, Mr. Ray, down in Florida there. Are you getting a lot of millennial or Gen Z buyers in Florida? I myself, I'm still working with a lot of millennials, and they're fantastic. I love working with them because they're very tech savvy and they get it. They really get it. And they're just so much fun to work with. So Ray, who are you working with? Can we comment over here? I'm picking on you now. But anybody else have anything to say? Like, come on, you got to help me out here. I need a conversation going. This is why I bring these things up. Oh, you're not getting that many. So you're probably getting a lot of the older, probably the Gen X people like us, like my age. But it's funny. The reason I asked that is because I just helped a girl. I just sold her condo in Morris County, and she's like in her late 30s, single, and she just bought down in Tampa. She's no, she didn't buy. She's renting in Tampa, but she went down to Florida. She got the heck out of here because she was able to work remotely. So I'm surprised you're not getting, you're not seeing, I would imagine like Florida would be the place everyone would flock to, especially if they're working remotely. Like this girl that I just helped, she couldn't wait. But yeah, you attract an older crowd in general. Still the case, huh? Wow. But yeah, you never know. New Yorkers are still looking to get the heck out of here in New Jersey. So anyway, but so that is it. So I thought that was really interesting stuff to to share with you guys. Did you see the bottom one there? Your relationship. People are willing, 7.9% of the people polled are willing to sacrifice their relationship to buy a house. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Anyway, so yeah, anyone who's still on here who want to make a comment about that, Ray, what would you give up? What would you sacrifice for a home if you were in the market right now? You know what I'm surprised about? I'm surprised I didn't see Starbucks on here, because I know a lot of people in that age group, they all love their Starbies, you know? I mean, and they're expensive coffees. I would think that would be top of the list and not drinking alcohol. I don't know. It's weird. So, all right, cool. So this week, my next video is going to be dropping tomorrow. And I was just uploaded it right before I came on. And I'm going to be talking about waiving the home inspection. And now that things have cooled off a little bit in the market, you don't have to waive as many things anymore. As far as like the appraisal, the home inspections, things like that. It's really not necessary. However, some people still think that they have it in their heads where they have to waive that inspection in order to stand out to the seller. They want to make their lives easier, but you don't have to. You don't have to do it. I would not do it. There are other ways to manage that with the home inspection. And I talk about that in the video tomorrow. I give you the strategy, like what I've used every time I've been in a bidding war situation. A lot of agents do the same thing. And what we do is we're going to limit the inspections, and we only limit it to say we're only going to check for structural items, environmental, and in some cases, mechanics. And that's all you need to look for anyway, because honestly, even the attorneys say it these days, the home inspection is not a time to go back and renegotiate the price. I mean, back before we're in this whole seller's market, like I personally had this happen, and with a deal, this is a few years ago, where the people they bid over asking price, and then they went back. They had the home inspection, so say they went over. They went $15,000 over asking price, and then after the home inspection, guess what they did? They went back and asked for a $15,000 credit. Oh my God, really? The deal ended up falling apart. You know, my sellers were like, we're not stupid. We see what they're trying to do. But nowadays that's not happening because there's so many people you're up against, you can't even risk that. So, you know, you don't want to come up with a laundry list of things that are on the inspection report. You know, like you want the bathtub recaulked, or you want, you know, whatever, like little things, you know, you want this light switch repaired, you know, you want the outlets to be changed over to the GCFI outlets. I mean, honestly, that costs like what, you know, $50 to replace those, you know, probably just for one of them. But those are the things we don't want to be asking for, especially now when you're in the seller's market. And look, even if there aren't that many other offers you're going up against, I still would not. I wouldn't waive it, limit those home inspections to just those items, because they're not going to, they'll just move on to the next person, or they know that it's a hot market. They're going to get the house sold. They don't care. So watch that tomorrow, and, you know, you'll learn a little bit more about like what are the specific things you'll be looking for in those items. And it works. It works. It reassures the seller that this person's not going to nitpick. They're not going to come up with a laundry list, and they're not going to try and rob me of a credit at the closing table. So, yeah. So Ray, you said same in Florida. Do you do the same? You had the same thing down there too, with the inspections? I'm sure it's everywhere. Everyone's doing this. And yeah, it's just a wise thing to do. But do not ever just say, oh, I'm just not going to have a home inspection at all. Just no, because you don't know what in the heck you're walking into. You know, unless you're, they would say, right, yeah, right. You're buying a home in the hundreds. Don't negotiate the GFI switch. It's so true, right? It's so true. But people will do that. Yeah, but nowadays it's not. And there's one attorney I specifically work with that I like working with him because he tells the buyers and he spells it out in his email. He sends like this email out and when he's introducing himself and he said, this is what you need with going forward with your home purchase. And then when he mentions the inspections, he says, this is not a time to renegotiate the price. We're looking for these specific items, which is what I just said, structural, environmental, mechanical in some cases, also safety too. We want to look for any safety hazards. A house I just sold a couple months ago did not have a handrail going down to the basement, on the steps to the basement. So, things like that have to be addressed. And you also want to make sure things are up to code. So, yeah, so that's going to be dropping tomorrow. I just want to see if anybody else is chiming in. You guys are so quiet tonight. Come on. I don't want to have to end it early, but I may have to. So that's it. That's that's what is happening in my world this week. And like I said, the stuff I've been dealing with, I will share with you in the future. Let me see. So Jen, does that mean your offer is all the negotiating? You mean just the price? Oh, you mean, Jen, what are you saying? You're doing this to me again. Does that mean your offer is all the negotiating? So are you saying that the offer, that's all we're negotiating? It's just the price and that? I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. Don't shoot me. Exactly. No more negotiations. Exactly. So that's what we're saying. Thank you. Thank you. So yes. So after that, unless those items, okay, so anything they find a structure issue, they find, a bee's nest up in the attic and they find, whatever, mold on the walls in the basement. So that's, they can go if that happens, that's when they will go back and negotiate or ask the seller to remediate or give a credit at closing. So it's those items, that's it. Anything else that pops up on the inspection report outside those limitations, don't ask for it. Just don't. And I had one case last week. We just closed on a condo, and we did put all of those limitations in there because it was a bidding war. We won it, but an electrical issue came up. The electrical panel was, I forget what it was. It basically was a fire hazard. So obviously that was a safety issue. So they had to address that. But yeah, anything else that falls in those parameters, they can walk away. They can negotiate it, ask for repairs, or they can walk away. Okay. So if the seller's saying, I don't want to deal with that, they can walk away from it. And honestly, it's protecting the buyers. These are big ticket items that are super expensive to repair. And that's what you want to be focusing on. We don't want to look at, the GFI outlets. Yes, correct. The only further major ticket items affect the ability to negotiate further. Absolutely. So, but when we say negotiate, it's just a matter of, we're negotiating. You repair it or you give us money. You give us credit at the closing. A lot of times, sellers will just give a credit because a couple of reasons for that. Because if the seller goes in to do the work, they are at risk of opening up a Pandora's box, and there may be other issues that could show up, and they don't want to address that. So they'll get an estimate of what it's going to cost, and then they'll give a credit to the seller at the end. The timetable to close, it depends, but typically I'm seeing 45 days. Yeah, so like 45 to 60 days. I've done it. I've had one that closed in 3 weeks. It was a cash deal. And, I've did one, I'm closing one next week that's been under contract since August. So that's going to be just over 60 days, I'm going to say. But yeah, average like 45 days, 45 to 60 days. But, I'm running into, so far my deals have been smooth all year. But just a couple of mishaps on inspection stuff that's come up. Like I said, this latest one I'm dealing with has to do with the septic. That's all I'm going to say. So, and like I said, when we're past it, I'll share with you what happened with that. Working with the banks have gotten better. They have. But what I always recommend, not that I'm against big banks, but they can be a little bit more challenging to work with because they do take a little longer and they're a little bit harder to get a hold of. So I always recommend telling my clients, work with a mortgage broker because they're pretty much accessible 7 days a week. And if you're going out house hunting on a Saturday or Sunday, you find a house, you need to get a pre-approval immediately. Brokers are more accessible. And that's why I really like working with them. And, and me having a relationship with a few of these mortgage brokers, it makes their lives easier because I'm involved as well. Whereas sometimes the banks, it's a little bit harder for me, because they're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And, again, I'm not knocking them and they do offer some good rates, but sometimes I just think it's better. You get a higher level of service when you're working with a mortgage broker, and they'll get the deals closed too. They get them closed really quick. I have one mortgage broker I work with. He actually will get your pre-approval through underwriting before you even go and make the offer. So when we present the offer, we'll say loan's been through underwriting and they are currently approved, but it's contingent on the title and the appraisal. So it's almost like having cash. So that's a really great thing. I don't know if too many banks are doing that, but I know some brokers that do offer that program. Well, they'll go through the loan will go through underwriting during the pre-approval process. So it's pretty awesome. It's a really nice thing to have. Jen, you're the only one chatting here. Ray, what is your experience, Ray, with banks versus brokers? What do you do? Do you deal with a lot of the big banks, or you working with brokers mainly? The only time, really bad time I've had with working with the big banks when it comes to buying a condo, because they're a lot stricter on condo purchases. And if there's a litigation against the condo association, like if it was a slip and fall lawsuit, that's where things get tough. And those loans are hard to get approved when you're working with the bank. I had that where Bank of America was doing a loan for this buyer and they couldn't get it approved because they couldn't get all the details on the lawsuit. And they ended up switching and going to, they actually went to Wells Fargo because they were able to get the loan approved by bypassing that whole condo thing. But some of the big banks, it's hard. It's hard to get approved on a condo. But so that's it. So I see I have 5 viewers here. Who else is on? You guys got to help me out here. I want to know who's talking to me. Who's watching? So anyway, so that's what I have. So if you're in the market, somebody's in the market, you can send them my way. I'd love to help them. And yeah, so think about it. If you're thinking about making a purchase like in the next year or so and you find like you have to sacrifice something, what would you sacrifice? So, okay. My husband says you can't comment. So, which is kind of a good thing, Stephen. I can only imagine what you would say. Anyway, let's count off 1. Okay. I don't know what that means, Jen. But anyway, all right, so it's about a half hour. All right, cool. I achieved a 30-minute live stream. This is awesome. So what's the temp like in New Jersey these days? Right? It's not like Florida, I'll tell you that. We're getting into the fall weather. I'm so excited. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's in the 70s next week. Actually, this weekend, I think it's going to be in the high 60s. So love it. I'm sure you miss it being that you were from New York, or maybe not because you've been in Florida forever. What's it like down there? Is it like super hot? Is it like 80s? And you're probably going to the beach, like all those beautiful beaches. I see you with your videos about all the great beaches where you are. If you guys, so listen, if you want to check out, you want to check out Ray's channel, living in Palm Beach, Florida. Ray Fernandez. Ray's awesome. He's an agent down in the Palm Beach area. You know what, Ray? I'm gonna put your YouTube channel link on this video. And Ray and I actually did a video a while back from the title is Moving from New Jersey to Florida. And just like what I did last week with Kathy, we focus on the Orlando area. That video with Ray was all about the Palm Beach area. And it's 85, just 85 degrees. You know what? Right now for me in the fall, like give me my 60-degree weather. You can keep your 85. 85 for me was back in July. Now we're moving on, moving on to the cooler temps. But that's great. But anybody is interested in Palm Beach area, Ray is phenomenal. He's a fellow YouTube agent. Met him back in March down in Savannah, like Kathy. We had a conference and it was just they're super awesome people. They are super busy. Everybody moving down to Florida, but definitely check out their channels. You want to learn about those areas if you're thinking about moving. No, thank you, Ray. Thank you. So that's what I got, guys. All right. So next week, still, the topics come to my head as long, as the week goes on. But if you have any suggestions for a topic, let me know. You can comment here, or you can contact me directly and let me know. But now it's one thing I wanted to put out there. I was toying with the idea. And if any of you see my TikTok videos, I don't do them anymore, but I was doing the bad MLS photos. I was thinking about sharing some bad MLS photos, but I don't know. That might be a little played right now, but I'm contemplating it because I did have fun making them. I had a lot of fun making those on TikTok. It just takes so much work. I don't got time for that. I got to sell houses. I mean, to edit it, first of all, to find the content, record it, edit it. YouTube's enough for me. I'll just do this. But yes, Ray, YouTube rocks. It is the best thing ever. We love it. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me. And all right, don't forget, check out my video tomorrow, Waiving the Home Inspection. It airs at noon. And I'll see you next week. All right, thanks so much for joining. Bye. Have a good night.